being asked to contribute towards this annual report makes me feel a little bit like one of those children who on Christmas Day are asked, "What did you get from Santa Claus today?" And then some children, of course, are very reluctant to say anything, but others will go into every detail and tell you everything that happened. I feel that at the end of the financial year, as we look back over the year, we start to realize how many things we have been gifted with. Even though there's been COVID and all the struggles with the economy, people are still aware of what the Columbans do in different parts of the world, like Latin America or the Philippines or Myanmar, all around the world, and people want to help. I feel grateful because really I see this help as gifts from God. It maybe seem very strange that one would talk about God in these circumstances, but really what we see ourselves as doing as Columbus is being on God's mission. We as believers believe that God is active in our lives and that the Holy Spirit is working with us. When the Columbans were founded back in China over 100 years ago, they believed that God wanted them to start this missionary society. And so God continues to work with us. So that when we receive bequests from people, when we receive donations, when we receive responses to our appeals in the mid-year appeal or the Christmas appeal, or people go online and they see the sort of work that we are doing, all of this is inspired by and really driven by the power of the Holy Spirit. It does fill me with gratitude, really, gratitude to God for what we have been able to do, for what God has done with us over this past 12 months. And also thanks very much to each and every one of you who have participated in our mission.
This year, we commemorate the 100th anniversary of our Columban art calendar. This iconic calendar has found its home in many families throughout Australia, New Zealand and Fiji. We thank you, our Columban supporters, for purchasing our calendar every year to help raise funds for Columban mission. Through your generosity, we have supported Columban projects overseas, providing a place of shelter for migrant workers and trafficked peoples, education for children from impoverished homes, and healthcare for the poor and marginalised. The October 2020 edition of our Columban Far East magazine marked the 100th year since it was first published in 1920. The first group of Columbans arrived in Australia in January of that same year. Archbishop Peter Comensoli granted the Columbans permission to visit parishes and promote the Far East magazine in the Archdiocese of Melbourne. However, due to the COVID-19 lockdowns, it wasn't possible to begin the promotion of the Far East until May this year. We are grateful for the thousands of Columban supporters who subscribe to the Far East, and we hope to receive new subscribers over the coming years. During the year, we continued to broaden our mission education and fundraising through social media. We launched our first Columban Daily Prayer ebook, as well as our Visio Divina reflection of our Columban calendar artwork. New articles appear daily on our Columban website and Facebook page, sharing the stories of Columban missionaries who stand in solidarity with the poor and the exploited earth.
The major event for the Columban Centre for Christian-Muslim Relations in the past year was the launch of the Sydney Statement, an interfaith charter for building bridges between believers from different religions. Unique among other interfaith statements, the content was generated by young adults. It provides practical steps for building a multicultural, multi-religious society. The Sydney Statement is available as a poster, a booklet, and on a dedicated website packed with interreligious resources. Read, sign, and share it with your personal and family networks. In mid-year, we also launched the Western Sydney Women's Interfaith Initiative. This provides a platform for women of different religions to come together and to support one another. It is very popular. I was invited to be an advisor to the Plenary Council, and I've made sure that interfaith is included in their deliberations. We also contributed a groundbreaking consultation on interreligious dialogue for the Synod of Bishops. We invited representatives from the diocese, and to make it genuinely interfaith, we invited a Jewish rabbi and a Muslim scholar to speak to our guests about their hopes and expectations of Catholic attitudes and behaviors towards Jews and Muslims. The most exciting development is that the Diocese of Parramatta has established an interfaith commission to carry the interfaith apostolate forward in parishes, schools, and other diocesan and interfaith organizations in Western Sydney. We look forward to cooperating and supporting them in this very important apostolate. Many of our activities were carried out under COVID restrictions. When isolated, we used phone and IT to maintain contacts with our interfaith friends and partners. COVID showed that we are all vulnerable together and that no one is saved alone.
Columban Peace, Ecology and Justice Office was invited in 2021 to present to the Bishop and clergy of the Diocese of Sale on Pope Francis's encyclical letter Laudato Si on care for our common home. Columban Father Kevin O'Neill and myself presented 4 sessions which invited reflection and conversation on the meaning and challenge Laudato Si has for life and ministry. The Columban Peace, Ecology and Justice Bulletin for the Season of Creation 2021 featured Father Charles Roux's liturgical resources, 7 Days of Creation, Scriptural Prayers and Reflection Year B, and Prayers of Hope in Times of Turmoil. Another highlight was helping to formulate the statement and policy recommendations made by the Society in the lead-up to the United Nations Biological Diversity Conference, COP15. The Peace, Ecology and Justice Office followed up this work with a letter to the Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment in the Australian Government. This year's May Peace, Ecology and Justice Bulletin featured a video conversation to focus on the impacts of climate change and environmental destruction in Fiji. During the conversation, Tavita Nakasawalu from the Columban Peace, Ecology and Justice Office in Fiji shared stories about the daily reminders and hardships associated with these changes and how Columban missionaries are working together with local communities and church agencies to make a difference.
The Missionary Society of St. Columban is actively committed to fostering communities of safeguarding that recognise and uphold the dignity and rights of all children and adults at risk. We have reviewed and implemented our safeguarding policies, and all Columban priests and co-workers continue to participate in annual safeguarding training. Let us continue to pray for peace in our world. May we be instruments of God's peace in our families and communities. May God bless you, our benefactors, and all our loved ones.